Hold it right there for a minute. Let me get my... Still there?
Yeah, it's still there.
We'll put to the center. That's the center of the door right there.
Okay.
Center of the greenhouse. You want the 8-foot on that end or this end?
Which end would be easiest? Hey, Papa, show her what that red mark says on there, so she can learn how to read a tape measure. Look, come here. Look.
4
On
foot.
the tape measure, it's 4 foot.
So
The
every
red
one of
one's 48 inches.
Every one of these is 12 inches. Look, right here. Let me see. Hold it right there. Okay.
Don't let it come off that. Uh-oh, put it back on that metal pole. Don't let it come off. Hold it on it.
It's 2 inches.
Looking, is that 4 foot in the middle of that one?
Yeah.
It's 2 inches. It's 2 inches.
2 inches.
Yeah. Yeah. Why did it have a red line?
That's for me to be able to see. Or I pop a line on a board or wall or... So that's... Hey, there come the cows.
They think he's gonna feed them. Ground's already hard, isn't it? Welcome to Hanson Legacy Farm. Today we were going to try to work a little bit on the end walls, but our day's mostly been of trying to measure it out, making a run to get the supplies, and checking on cows, and then now we've got to dig the holes and start getting the layout for the end walls put in. So we're going to get done what we can today.
Because they're talking about rain the next 2 days. So.
Right, talking about rain the next 2 days.
I think tomorrow, it's tomorrow evening, right? Hopefully.
I believe so.
So we should hopefully, prayerfully, we'll get some done in the morning.
Right. So anyways, it's late in the evening today. It's after 4:30, I believe. Yep. By the time we run to the store, with the length of drive it is to town one way, it just takes a while for us to get there and then go get the supplies and then get back. Yeah. And anyways, we're going to get done what we can today. Darren started digging on the holes, did a little bit of measurements before we left and planned out how we want our end wall to be. So got a little bit of supplies in the back of the truck. And we're going to have to go feed the cows, because if not, they're going to be over here when we start rattling the concrete bags. They're going to think that we're trying to feed them. So they're going to be over here messing around with us if we don't go feed them. So we're going to go do that. And then we're going to come back and see if we can't get started on digging the holes for the end wall posts. Found a little friend. What kind of snake is that?
Got a diamond-shaped head to him. He's probably packing a little bit of venom, but
as long as it's headed that way and not toward us.
It's all posing. It was wrapped up in all this stuff here when I flipped it.
It was in the hay?
Yeah, it was in the hay.
Ow!
Yeah.
And we're running our hands up in there, pulling the hay.
It was up inside the bottom of it there. And when I flipped this over,
it
was all caught up in that.
It was caught up in the twine?
Yeah.
hay wrap twine?
Yep, it was caught up in this twine on the bottom of this part that this part that broke down right here. I'm sure it was eating the vermin that try to live in this hay bale.
I think I'm putting my gloves on.
I think the mice like to get in there and make a little nest.
Uh-huh. Oh.
Hey.
So what'd you get done before I got back?
Got the pole lined up in the, got the hole dug, got the pole set in the hole. Got an A brace on it. Got a lining brace going the other way.
Yeah.
So now it's level.
All right.
Plumb.
Plumb.
It's plumb in the hole.
Plumb in the hole. Okay.
That's our first pole, and then off the bat we'll go 8 foot that way.
I am so excited about this. Didn't know that this, I didn't know when this day would come. I've been waiting on this for a long time.
I need to drill
Okay.
Try it. So now I'll cut another 4x4 post to go on top of that, and then I'll take I bought plumber strap. I tried to find 2 hose straps to bend over and strap to the top of the post, but actually I ended up buying some plumbing strap, so that'll work just as good. I'll go up there and I'll have to cut a little slight angle on it to contour to the bow up there, and then I'll finish that out. And I run a 2x4, a 10-foot 2x4 scab beside that, which it went 39 inches above this 12-foot pole, and I was sistering that on it or scabbing onto it. And once I get done with that, I got a 2x6 I'm gonna put on the face here that would likely beef it up also. So we'll have, and I'll continue to treat a 2x4 down to the ground level. I want to pour the cement first, and I'm going to set the post on top of the cement. There's no need in putting the 2x4 down in the hole with it. I think it's strong enough for that. So we'll do that. We'll strengthen it with that, and then after that I'll measure over 8 foot for our door. We'll get our height and then get it all square and level, and then we'll build our doors. But right now we're trying to get all of everything framed in, so we can, once we get these framed in, we're going to pour concrete across from this side of the door to that corner, and then concrete from the other side of the door to that other corner. A little knee wall, or more like a ankle wall. It's not going to be real tall. Then I'm going to set my framing on top of that. But we're going to frame up to probably wherever Sharon decides she wants her window at. We're going to put a window in here. We're going to have plywood on that outside and on the inside, so we can hang. If we put any kind of electrical boxes or any kind of boxes, we're going to have that available to put on the backside, so for utilities. So trying to find a 2-hole strap that I could actually open up and bend one side down on the board, and then bring it over and flatten it out on top of the post. And that's what Danny used on Deep South. I borrowed his ideal on this. We changed it up just a bit, but for the most part it's going to be real similar to what he did closing in the end of his house. But I couldn't find a 2-hole strap, so I'm using plumber's strap. So it'll work just as good. Don't think I got to watch out of this corner down here. Did I make sure that I'm going to bend it over, double it up the first time, bend it over with my hammer, and hopefully that'll take care of the sharp edges on the outside. I don't want my greenhouse, the fabric or the plastic to get cut on it. So it's the only thing you got to really worry about, making sure you don't have any of the tech screws facing on the outside where will rub up against the poly, or the greenhouse poly, because it will rip a hole in it. So just kind of be aware of that. All your screws on your tech screws need to be turned side to the side or underneath on the inside of your greenhouse, and anything that's going to be exposed needs to be not sharp so that it won't cut a hole. Up right there. Then I'll put another screw. I want to put another screw back here and drape it down the back of this, and then I'll put a tech screw through the strap into the bow from the back side, underneath where the poly's going to be on there. It's going to get a wiggle wire across this top anyway, right across here. And so that's why we're putting this one on first. So they tell you to put your end walls on first because the poly will last twice as long on the end walls because they're not catching the direct UV rays like the top does. So they tell you to put your end walls on first, and because you got to use the same wiggle wire track. So when we put the front wall on, we're going to put wiggle wire track up here, and we're going to bring it over the top, and then we'll drape it down, and then we'll use wiggle wire track underneath, and we'll pull it tight. But then when we come across with the poly for the top of the greenhouse, we'll go back into the same wiggle wire track. So you'll just double up on top of that. So that way, if we ever have to replace the top, we won't have to remove all of this on the front. So that's why we're doing the end walls first.
Well, it's got late on us. Time to call it a night, huh?
Yep.
We got our first pole up, our first beam for the front of the wall, end wall. I'm super excited. Can't wait to get this done. See you in the next video.
Yep.
God bless.
God bless.